Hi guys, I am back again. Hope you are able to have a better understanding of the course content as well as the flow of the course from the introductory video. There is much more into the course. As the introductory videos need to be brief and crisp, we cut it and make it into 6 minutes. This video is again an introductory video, but this time it is not about our course. This time we will be talking about startup ecosystem and investment ecosystem. You all might be knowing about the Alexander the Great, yes, who almost conquered the entire world. He always used to strategize his battle. These strategy meetings were nothing but just to understand the terrain on which they are going to fight. Nothing much has changed since then. Previously it were battles and wars, now it is raising a startup. So let's try to understand the terrain in which we are going to fight our battles so that the first time founder and early stage entrepreneurs didn't get ambushed. As this is the first video and a lot of you might not be aware about the terms that we use into startup ecosystem. So I will try to use as simple words, as simple terms as I can. Hope you will understand them. If you face any problem in understanding them, in the bonus section you are going to find a PDF document which is like the dictionary for startup ecosystem with all the terms and their definitions. Just refer to that. I know and I can bet my life over it. A lot of you have purchased this course because it is related to fundraising without even validating your idea. So in this video, I will be sharing the process or flow of raising a startup. That will be how to move from one point to another and what are the steps involved into raising a startup before reaching out to fundraising stage. So guys, let's start. The first thing, which is the most important thing, is to understand why you want to be an entrepreneur. The entire process of raising a startup will depend on that. Your entrepreneurial journey will completely depend on that. Whenever I ask why you want to be an entrepreneur, these are the three answers which generally pops up. I want to earn a lot of money. I want to be billionaire like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos or like Vijay Shekhar Sharma. Second is I hate 9 to 5 job. And the third, which is the most innocent one and the most common one, because everybody else is doing and they are getting success. So I think I can also do and be successful into raising a startup. People try to justify with these 3 points. And the funny thing is that the motivational gurus, the life design coaches, the life coaches and the 10x coaches exploit it. But the reality, it is completely in contrast. Let's try to understand why it is the biggest mistake if you are starting up because of any of these 3 reasons. Let's take up the first one. You want to earn tons and tons of money. You want to become a billionaire just like Elon Musk. Okay, so let me burst the bubble out here. The chances of your startup to become a unicorn is 0.002%. Yes, exactly 0.002%. Even if it becomes a unicorn, you will have somewhere around 8 to 10% stake into it. So you will be getting somewhere around $10 million, 100 million. In India, we have around 100 unicorns. The data is still 28th April 2021. And we have almost like 50,000 startups registered into Startup India scheme only. And that data is of 2018. So 3 years back, there were 50,000 startups registered. And we only have 100 unicorns into our country. The thing is that not every startup gets themselves registered onto Startup India scheme. We Startup Monk is not there. So you can add another 0 or 2 after the decimal when it comes to 0.002%. Some more data for you. 5 out of every 100 startup registered reaches the top line of $1 million. So the top line is the total annual revenue, not profit. I am talking about revenue. 9 out of 10 startups shuts their operations into first year of registration. Let's talk about the best case scenario. You were able to raise a successful startup. So as a founder, you are not going to get all the profit that your startup will be making. As a founder, you will be going to get a salary. The salary is always 20 to 30% less than the market salary. So a person at the same level as you are will be getting 20-30% more salary than you. And the most important thing, I have seen founders getting excited by the news of companies or startups raising funds. Suppose that you have raised $100 million. Not a single penny is going to get into your pocket. The entire $100 million is already accounted for. And you need to spend that money into 18 months to 24 months. That is between 1.5 year to 2 years time, so that you are going to raise the second round of funding. And you have to do that because the investor from which you have raised the fund, they want return on investment, and they will only get return on investment when the next round will be raised. So again, if you are raising $100 million, you are not going to get anything out of it. If you are thinking that you are going to get dividend out of the profit that your startup is making, forget it. At least for the first 10 years, there are no dividends into startups, because you are not going to get balance sheet positive for this. Till date, Oyo, Zomato, Swiggy, Paytm, everybody is booking loss somewhere around $500 million quarterly. That is, they are burning $2 billion every year. They are into losses of $2 billion every year. So you are not going to get any dividend also out of it. You will be only able to make money when you are going to get acquired or merged, or you go for IPO, which is like the best of the best case scenarios. So it will be almost like 1 in a million case when your startup is going to go for the IPO. And if we talk about M&A, that is merger and acquisitions, there is a term liquidation preference which you will find into the term sheet, which is there into the later section of this course. According to liquidation preference, or LiquPref, which we popularly call it, suppose you have raised 100 CR for a startup, and due to any reason, competitive warfare, change in technology, or change in regulations, your startup saw a decline into your sales and the valuation bumped down. Your startup got acquired for 110 CR. So out of these 110 CR, the 100 CR will go to the investors who have invested. Then the 10 CR which is left will be divided as per the equity stakes into this startup. So if you are having equity at the higher side and have somewhere around 15%, out of the acquisition of 110 CR, you are only going to get 1.5 CR out of that. This is how liquidation preference, LiquPref, works. Recently, we have seen an example of such acquisition, and nothing can beat that. Urban Ladder, which raised somewhere around 770 CR till Series B, I guess, and they get acquired by Reliance for 182 CR. So in that case, founders got nothing, not a penny. All the money that they got from Reliance were distributed among the investors as per their percentages. So the reality is that you are going to work for somewhere around 10 years, each day in and out 12 to 15 hours on a salary which will be 20 to 30% less than the market rates. You will be surprised to know that managers or senior managers of some of the listed companies get more salary than the founders of startups. The best example in front of us is Ritesh Agarwal. His annual salary is somewhere around 49.7 lakh, and that also it was in 2019. So it comes approximately somewhere around 4 lakh per month. When we talk about senior managers in ITC, they are getting anything between 1 CR to 1.5 CR annual. So almost 2 to 3 times salary of Ritesh Agarwal. The chances of you making good money is 1,000 times more into job than into entrepreneurship. If you are starting just to make money, think over it again. Have you ever seen any billionaire who have started their journey of entrepreneurship just to make money? I haven't seen any. If you have seen any, do let me know, but I haven't seen anyone. Pick any billionaire. They all are where they are today just because they wanted to solve a problem and not to make money. Their drive was always solving a specific problem. And if that commitment is missing in you, then the chances of raising a successful startup is really slim. The second reason, you hate 9 to 5 job. Good morning. Entrepreneurship is 6 a.m. till 12 midnight job. 99% of you will be working out of your job description. When you are in a job, you can easily say that this is not my task. I am not going to do it to your boss. But in entrepreneurship, you are your own boss, and you can't give excuses to yourself. Here, you will be working as founder, marketing manager, sales manager, operations managers, accountant, office boys, peon, at times delivery boys. And there will be days when you will be doing all these things in 24 hours. And above all, there is no guarantee that you will be getting salary at the end of the month. On contrary, you will be thinking more about the salary of the staff members who are working for you, how you are going to get the money to pay their salaries. 9 to 5 sounds better now? Okay, let's take the third point, which is because everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is doing it. This is the most innocent reason that you can hear. It is innocent and dumb at the same time. Even if somebody talks about hobby because some other person is having a certain hobby, so you also want to do it, it is innocent and dumb even for hobbies. We are talking about raising a startup because everybody else is doing it. Last year, I was working as mentor and incubation partner with IIT Kharagpur for their annual E-Summit. So I was speaking to one of the professors and he told me there are 75 startups which are run by students of the campus. I am talking about only one IIT. There are a lot of IITs, there are a lot of IIMs, there are BITS, there are NITs and all. And he also mentioned some of the startups have already raised funds from the alumni network. You want to start because everybody else is doing it. But think what I just mentioned about IIT Kharagpur and their startups. Every domain works on demand and supply. The current startup ecosystem is full of supply of entrepreneurs. We are really low on the demand side. The competitive landscape is really high. And they are the best of the best out there. So don't start up because everybody else is doing it. Find the right reason. If you are not passionate about finding the solution of a specific problem, if you are not passionate about what you are doing, if you are not passionate about making the future better for the coming generations, if you are not passionate about changing the way things are being done, I don't see a reason for you to start up. Find the right reason to start up, not the silly reason. Just think over it. Enough of why you want to be an entrepreneur. Now let's talk about the startups. Basically, a startup comes into existence to solve a consumer problem. People say that they have a great idea or a $1 billion idea on which they want to work on. But I strongly believe there is nothing like the term idea. It is always consumer problem. If you can find a solution for that problem, you have a business there. One of the biggest problem of current founders are that they create a product and then start looking for the consumer for them. You can't create a product and then look for the consumer. It doesn't work like that. If you are in the field of research, it may work, but not in the field of entrepreneurship. People will only going to pay you if you are solving a problem for them. That's all. And if you are able to find the right problem, and if you are able to find the right solution for that specific problem, you have a successful startup out there. So look for a consumer problem around you, which a lot of people are facing. Find the solution for that and you have a successful startup. It is as simple as that. I don't know why people complicate it. A lot of startup gurus and mentors says that find a problem that you face into your day-to-day life and then find a solution for it. It is not so. There might be some problems which only you face or few people face it. It will not make a business sense. Until and unless the problem is faced by a vast majority of the population, it is not a business. It will be an additional benefit if you are also facing the same problem as the vast majority of population is facing, because then you can work on the solution in a better way. But the underlying point here is that it should be faced by a vast majority to make a business. So what are the steps, or one can say the flow of startup, raising a startup? We generally start with idea validation. Idea validation in itself is divided into several parts. So first will be like identification of the idea. Second will be idea shortlisting. Third will be market research. Fourth will be market sizing, understanding the target segment, and environment analysis. These are part of the idea validation. Second comes the business plan. So you need to understand that business plan is your venture on papers. And for different people, there will be different business plan. For stakeholders, there will be different business plan. For investors, there will be different business plan. For core team members, there will be different business plan. And for the general or the staff members, there will be different business plan. So you need to understand that. There are some points which need to be there into all business plans. They are executive summary, company description, market analysis, competitive analysis, description of management and organization, breakdown of your product and services, marketing plan, sales strategy, funding, and financial projection. These are the common points which need to be there into each business, and then you can make the changes to make it fit for the specific audience. To take an example, you are not supposed to put financial projection or the revenue model into the business plan which will be shared with the staff members. Now the third and final leg of raising the startup, that is the financial modeling which is required for the fundraising. So financial model of your startup, you can say is something like your business plan into numbers onto an Excel sheet. It is one of the most important documents which every investor is going to go through. And if you are unable to make a good financial model for your startup, it is guaranteed that you are not going to raise funds. There can be anything between 8 to 15 seats into a single financial model, which can be like team salaries will be there, ARR will be there, MRR will be there, then projections will be there, cap table will be there, COGS will be there. COGS will be like cost of goods sold. Revenue will be there, working capital will be there, capex, that is the capital expenses, will be there. So there will be different seats for each of these categories which are interconnected. So if you are going to make change into one, the same will be reflected into others. So this is how financial model is created. In the bonus section, you are going to find a financial model template. We have created the entire sheet. We have put on all the formulas. So you can use it to create a financial model for your startup. But it is a generic one. To get a specific financial model like for e-commerce or a blog or news site or for drop shipping or for SaaS product or for hardware and software, you can reach out to us. We provide these services. Once we are done with these 3 steps, that is the idea validation, the business plan and the financial modeling, then we move to the main part which accounts for 90% success of your startup. That is the execution stage. That is hitting the ground and facing the harsh reality. Till now, everything is assumed and founders are moving ahead. Now they will be going to understand whether the problem or which they are finding a solution is even a problem or their solution is even viable. It is the time when you will realize that is hamam mein sabhi nange hai, which means that everybody is naked here. At this stage, that is the execution stage, you will understand that market doesn't care. It doesn't matter to market whether you are an IITian or from an IIM or from an international Ivy League university or you belong from a filthy rich family or even your father is a Prime Minister of India or Ambani or you are going through personal problem like you are going through a divorce or there is a person who is on deathbed at your family. You haven't slept for the entire week. You have missed your kid's birthday. You are struggling to pay staff salaries or however good your intentions are with your product. Or you are trying to make a better future for the coming generations. Market is least bothered about your problems. Market will only be reacting to the value that you will be creating with your product. That's all. That is why whenever founders come to me and ask what are the points that they should take care at the time of execution, there is only 2 things that you need to take care. First, keep on improving on your product as per the consumer feedback. And second, market placement. Place it at the right place in the market. Then only it is going to see sales. If you can streamline these 2 things, half the battle is already won. But again, it is entrepreneurship. There will be a fresh battle every day. You wake up in the morning, there will be a fresh battle to be fought again. And the funny thing is that the enemy keeps changing in it. So you have to make this strategy for the battle every day. That also under the clock. I generally see a lot of what I call motivational porn floating on social media. People claiming that they have started with 1,000 rupees and made $1 million in single year. Passionpreneurs, 10x gurus, 1 CR club, repeating again and again, leave 9 to 5 job, be your own boss, freedom is everything, work for yourself instead of anyone else, keep on grinding, you will be successful one day, believe in yourself, follow your dream, follow your passion. In reality, it is nothing like that. Startup fails, it is the reality and it is okay. Because startups are experiment. You are trying to find a solution for a problem. It is an experiment. It might be successful. It can fail. So there is nothing bad in failing. At times it will be a hard decision to take. But it is you who will be dividing when to cut the cord. Entrepreneurship is dark and lonely. And the higher you go into this startup ecosystem, the lonelier it gets. In entrepreneurship, on a daily basis, you will be facing rejection, one after another. But that is what develops your character as an entrepreneur. Not everyone is made for it. I am not demotivating anybody. But it is the harsh, brutal, dark reality. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to deal with it. It is the only way out. Mentally prepare yourself for it. I guess I will be closing on this note. If you are an entrepreneur, deal with it. All the best.